Tomorrow I get married. Or at least I was supposed to. The night before the wedding. She leaned against me, her cheeks flushed. Honey, want a role play? She whispered. Follow a script. Pretend it's forced. I had been drinking. My head was hot, judgment clouded, and I agreed. How absurd. How stupid. The next day, I didn't get a wedding. I got the police. Cold handcuffs. Chloe? She stood opposite me, crying, eyes swimming with tears. She pointed a shaking finger at me. He raped me. What? And there was a recording? That game from last night. The evidence was ironclad. I couldn't defend myself. Honestly, I never thought I'd get married this early. I was 27, working as a tech support specialist at a local electronics plant. The pay wasn't six figures, but it was stable, about $4,000 a month take-home. With overtime, I could save a decent chunk. My parents had helped me with the down payment on a two-bedroom condo. It wasn't in the trendy part of town, but it was my own slice of the world. It wasn't until I went home for Thanksgiving last year that I realized what marriage pressure really meant. Caleb, look at the Wilson boy next door. 2 years younger than you and already holding a baby. My mom sighed. If you keep going like this, your dad and I are terrified we'll never see grandkids. I'm just busy, Mom. I don't have time to date. I laughed it off, but I knew I couldn't dodge it forever. The next day, my mom dragged me to her friend Aunt Martha's house. Martha, the neighborhood matchmaker, smiled and opened her thick binder, claiming she had a girl who was perfect for me. Her name is Chloe Evans, 25, a nurse at the county hospital. Pretty, gentle, and comes from a good family. I was skeptical, but I agreed to meet her, just to get my parents off my back. Who knew that the moment I saw Chloe, I'd be stunned. She wore a simple white sundress, hair cascading over her shoulders, eyes big and bright. When she smiled, she seemed to glow. Unlike the girls at the clubs with heavy makeup, she felt fresh and natural. Chloe. She extended her hand, her voice soft as a spring breeze. Just like that, we started dating. Every day after work, no matter how tired I was, I'd pick her up from the hospital. If she had the night shift, I'd bring her late-night snacks and wait for her in the parking lot. Slowly, I found myself unable to leave her. Chloe knew how to take care of people. When I worked late, she'd have hot pasta waiting. When I had the flu, she made me tea. When I was down, she knew exactly how to cheer me up. Caleb, have you thought about it? When are you going to meet my parents? One night, 3 months in, she asked, leaning on my shoulder. My heart raced, and I held her hand. Will you marry me? She nodded, tears in her eyes. I will. Everything happened so fast after that. Our families met and got along great. We picked a date, booked the venue. It went incredibly smoothly. Following tradition, I bought Chloe an expensive bridal set, a diamond engagement ring, a necklace, and a bracelet, costing me nearly $5,000 of my savings. Watching her happily put on the jewelry, I felt it was worth every penny. Caleb, you're so good to me, Chloe whispered in my ear, arms around my neck. I will love you and take care of you forever. I was deeply moved by her tenderness. In that moment, I felt like the luckiest man on earth. At the engagement party, friends and family came to bless us. Chloe wore a red cocktail dress, smiling like a flower. I stood proudly beside her in my new suit. Congrats, Caleb. You landed a stunner. My childhood buddy Mike slapped my shoulder. Yeah, you lucky bastard, my colleagues teased. Chloe smiled, blushing, looking shy and happy. She held my arm, thanking every guest. She was so graceful that everyone sang her praises. My parents couldn't stop smiling, and her parents looked at me with satisfaction. It was too perfect. I almost couldn't believe it was real. That night back at my place, Chloe snuggled into my arms. Caleb, in 1 month, we'll officially be husband and wife. Yeah, and I'll treat you right for the rest of my life. I kissed her forehead, heart full of sweetness. Before the wedding, I have a small request. Chloe hesitated, a flash of something in her eyes I didn't catch at the time. What request? Anything I can do, I promise. I smiled, completely unaware of how this small request would destroy my life. What is it? I looked at her curiously. She just smiled mysteriously and shook her head. I won't tell you now. You'll know when the time comes. I didn't think much of it, assuming it was just couples' playfulness. For the next few days, I was immersed in the joy of the upcoming wedding. I walked on air. Even the boring work at the plant seemed interesting. A few days after the engagement party, Chloe brought up her request again. Caleb, she purred in my arms. Before we get married, can we be crazy one last time? Crazy. I was intrigued. How so? Oh, just going out. I know a new lounge downtown. It's supposed to have a great atmosphere. Let's go relax. Treat it like a pre-wedding bachelor/bachelorette farewell. Seeing her expectant look, how could I refuse? Besides, a single life farewell sounded exciting. That night, We took an Uber to the lounge. Dim lights, lazy jazz, the air filled with the scent of alcohol and perfume. Chloe wore a black slip dress, looking completely different from her usual modest self, more seductive. Here's to our upcoming happiness. She raised a cocktail, smiling charmingly. I clinked glasses with her and down a large gulp. The drink was strong but sweet and fruity, going down easy. After a few rounds, my head started spinning, vision blurring. Slow down. You look drunk. I tried to warn her, my tongue clumsy. It's fine, we're celebrating. Chloe poured me another. No going home until we're wasted. I don't remember how much we drank, only that the noise around us faded. All I saw was Chloe's flushed face. She leaned in close, hot breath on my neck, making me restless. Caleb, it's late. Her voice was slurred. We can't make it back, can we? I checked my phone. Past 1 a.m. It was a 40-minute ride home. What should we do? I asked dizzily. There's a hotel nearby. She looked at me with glazed eyes. Let's go rest. My brain was chaos, alcohol paralyzing my logic. A hotel? Sounded like a good idea. I nodded groggily. Okay, let's go. Chloe supported me as we stumbled out of the lounge. The night breeze sobered me slightly, but my steps were still unsteady. She quickly booked a room on her phone and pulled me into a seemingly clean budget hotel. Keycard, door open. The room wasn't big, dominated by a large bed. The lighting was warm yellow, ambiguous. As soon as the door closed, Chloe hugged me from behind, cheek against my back, voice trembling. Caleb. Alcohol and hormones rushed to my head. I turned, hugging her tight, leaning down to kiss her. Wait. She pushed me back slightly, a mix of shyness and excitement on her face. What's wrong? I was confused, the fire inside me already lit. Can we play something exciting? She bit her lip, eyes flickering. Exciting? I was dizzy. What could be exciting at this hour? Chloe leaned into my ear and whispered a sentence quickly. I froze, sobering up instantly. What did you say? I looked at her in disbelief. Imitate those scenes? You want me to force you? This was absurd. I wasn't a saint, but I knew this was dangerous territory. We were about to get married. Why play this kind of game? Oh, come on, it's just role play. Chloe stomped her foot, shaking my arm coquettishly. I read about it in those romance novels. It feels intense. No, I refused flatly. That's too weird. I can't do it. Caleb. Chloe's eyes suddenly reddened, voice tearing up. Do you not love me anymore? It's just a game. We're engaged. Do you not trust me even a little bit? I just want to experience something different before marriage. Is that wrong? Her weeping broke my resolve. Alcohol blurred my reason again. Her words drilled into my ears like magic. Trust. That word was the key that unlocked my final defense. We were about to be married. She loved me. Why would she hurt me? Maybe this really was just a whim of a bit of spicy fun. Seeing her tearful, pitiful face, I nodded like I was possessed. Okay, just this once. Yay. Chloe immediately broke into a smile, hugging me tight. I knew you were the best. She turned back to me and walked to the nightstand, rummaging through her purse. I was drunk, vision blurry, only seeing her fiddling with something. Then she turned around, wearing an expression I'd never seen, a mix of nervousness and eerie excitement. Shall we start? Her voice trembled. I took a deep breath, trying to get into her character, but the weird feeling wouldn't leave. The urge from the alcohol and a nameless anxiety intertwined, making me feel like I was dancing on a cliff edge. Start. The events that followed felt like a fever dream. I clumsily cooperated with the demands she made in that shy tone. My movements were dull and stiff, my heart full of unease. It wasn't romantic. It felt like a choreographed, uncomfortable performance. Chloe, however, seemed very into it. Her breathing was ragged. She let out whimpers, but in the fleeting moments when my eyes focused, her gaze seemed unusually clear. I must have been drunk. I don't know how long it lasted before the absurd game ended. The room fell silent, save for heavy breathing. I collapsed on the bed, the hangover headache splitting my skull. Chloe recovered quickly. She snuggled up, hugging my arm like usual, head on my shoulder. Caleb, sleep now. Her body was soft and warm. The intense anxiety from before seemed to wash away with the familiarity. Exhausted, I closed my eyes, thinking maybe it was just pre-wedding jitters released in an extreme way. Once we were married, everything would be fine. Holding on to this ridiculous thought, I fell into a deep sleep. I slept like the dead until urgent, violent knocking woke me. Bang, bang, bang. Loud and fast, like they were trying to break the door down. My head throbbed, nausea rolling in my stomach. I struggled to sit up, rubbing my temples, shouting groggily, "Who is it?" It's early. The room was empty. Where was Chloe? My heart dropped, a bad premonition gripping me. The weird fragments from last night flooded back. Bang, bang, bang. The knocking intensified. I scrambled out of bed, stumbling to the door. Before I could ask, a roar came from outside. Police! Open up! Police! My mind went blank. Before I could react, the door was kicked open with a massive crash, splinters flying. Several uniformed figures rushed in, pinning me against the wall. Don't move! A cold voice exploded in my ear. What are you doing? I screamed in panic, trying to struggle. What did I do? We received a report. You are a suspect in a rape case. One officer said sharply, twisting my arm behind my back. The cold handcuffs clicked shut. Rape. The word hit me like a sledgehammer, making me dizzy, unable to think. I raped who? Chloe. Last night became crystal clear. The absurd role play, her strange expression, her leaving early. No, it wasn't rape. I screamed hoarsely. It was her. It was Chloe. She asked me to do it. We're engaged. We're getting married. Calm down. The officer pressed me harder. Save it for the station. I was roughly shoved out. Passing the front desk, the clerk and early guests looked at me with horror and disgust. Their gazes were like needles. Minutes ago, I was a groom-to-be. Now, I was a criminal in cuffs, accused of raping my fiancée. The cruiser sped away. Shivering in the cold back seat, I felt a bone-deep sense of betrayal. At the precinct, I was taken to an interrogation room. The harsh light blinded me. Name? Caleb Miller. Age? 27. Do you know why you're here? I didn't rape anyone. I shouted. It was Chloe. She planned it. We were drinking. She asked for role play. It was her idea. The detective opposite me looked blank, eyes full of distrust. Caleb is. Evans has filed a report and provided evidence. Evidence? What evidence? My chest tightened. A recording. The detective pressed play. From the recorder came my voice, slurring the terrible things I said under the influence and her guidance, mixed with her tearful, fearful begging. It was edited, chopped up. Only the parts incriminating me remained. My voice demanding cooperation, her voice resisting. It painted an undeniable picture of assault. I was stunned, blood draining from my body. No, it wasn't like that. I argued futilely. The beginning and the end. It's not complete. She made me say it. She. My voice faded. Against such hard evidence, my explanation sounded pathetic. Alcohol, a hotel, and a carefully edited tape. I was defenseless. The woman who promised to love me forever had personally pushed me into hell. Why? I looked at the handcuffs where my wedding ring should be. Despair swallowed me whole. The lights went out, and I was moved to a holding cell. Just a cage. The sound of the lock clicking shut smashed my heart. I slid down the cold wall. The chill seeped into my bones. The edited recording played on a loop in my brain. I raped Chloe, the woman I cherished? Ridiculous. I beat my head, trying to find proof in my messy memories. The lounge lights, the spice of the liquor, her seductive eyes, the whisper in my ear. Imitate rape. Role play. Don't you trust me? Her words were poison needles. How did I believe her? How was I so stupid? The recording. Right, she prepared it. The shuffling her bag wasn't for a toy. It was a voice recorder. She guided me, faked the sounds, all for this moment. A terrifying thought struck me. Was it a trap from the start? From Aunt Martha's introduction to the smooth engagement? Was her innocence a mask? Did she approach me just for this? For the $5,000 ring set? Or more? I shuddered. If so, how evil was this woman? But I had no proof. Just that damn tape. I paced like a trapped beast. What do I do? Who will believe me? Footsteps approached, followed by the jingle of keys. The door opened. An officer looked at me blankly. Miller, you have a visitor. I looked up to see a stranger, a middle-aged man with glasses, looking efficient. Hello. I'm the lawyer your parents hired. Mr. Henderson. He extended a hand, but given the cuffs, I just smiled bitterly. How are my parents? My voice was raspy. Henderson sighed, adjusting his glasses. Not good. Your mom fainted when the police called. Your dad is holding up, but he hasn't slept. His hair turned white overnight. They don't believe you did this. They're calling everyone, pulling strings. They found me. My eyes burned. My heart felt like it was being sliced open. I was an unfilial son, getting scammed and dragging them down with me. Mr. Henderson, I was framed. I grabbed at this lifeline, frantically explaining the events of last night, the role-play request. Henderson listened, frowning deeper. Do you have proof? Hotel hallway cameras? Witnesses who heard her suggest it? I shook my head in defeat. No, it was just us. I was drunk. I don't remember details. I don't know if cameras saw her face clearly. That's difficult. Henderson looked grave. The victim claims drunken assault and has the recording. We can request technical analysis on the audio for edits, but that takes time. And even if it's edited, it's hard to disprove the accusation when your voice is on there saying those things. The police, because of the tape, are firm. They've preliminarily booked you for rape. My heart hit the floor. What? What happens to me? Rape carries a long sentence, Henderson said. The priority now is bail. I've submitted a request to the DA, arguing the evidence has holes and doesn't support pretrial detention. Your parents are scraping together money for the bond. The next few days were torture. Locked in detention, cut off from the world. I replayed every moment with Chloe. My parents must be frantic, facing police, Chloe's family, the neighbors' gossip. Days later, the door opened again. Henderson and an officer stood there. Miller, pack up. You're going home. The officer's voice was cold. I froze. The DA's office feels there isn't enough evidence to hold you without bail right now. We've processed your release. Henderson smiled wearily. You're free for now. Temporarily. Free. I mechanically collected my phone, wallet, and the keys to the new home that was supposed to be our sanctuary. Stepping out of the station, the bright sun blinded me. I shielded my eyes, but felt no warmth. Across the street, my parents waited. They looked 10 years older. Dad was hunched. Mom's hair was gray, eyes sunken. Seeing me, Mom ran over, hugging me and sobbing. Caleb, my son, you've suffered. Dad stood by, lips trembling, finally just patting my shoulder hard, eyes red. I couldn't speak. I just cried. The car ride home was dead silent, save for Mom's quiet weeping. I knew this wasn't over. It was just starting. The label of rape suspect was branded on me. My job, reputation, future likely gone. Chloe, the woman I loved, why did she do this? Just for money. Outside the window, familiar streets looked alien. My home was there, but my world had collapsed. The phantom feeling of handcuffs lingered on my wrist. No, I couldn't let this go. Chloe owed me. She owed my parents. I clenched my fists, nails digging into my palms. A cold hatred grew in the ruins of my heart. We got home. The living room was unchanged, but I felt like an intruder, a stain. Mom tried to pour me water, her hand shaking so bad the cup clattered. Dad silently picked up the shards, his back looking like a crumbling mountain. I threw myself onto my bed, hiding under the covers. But the memories of the jail and the hotel swirled in my head. Before I could breathe, a sharp knock came. Official. Dad answered. A court server stood there with a manila envelope. Caleb Miller here? You've been served. Cold, robotic. Dad took it, trembling. He slid under my door. Caleb, court papers. I tore it open. The text twisted like vipers. A civil lawsuit from Chloe. Not only was she pushing criminal charges, she was suing for damages, alleging emotional trauma from the attempted rape. The compensation figure had so many zeros it blinded me, and she demanded the engagement assets, the $5,000 jewelry set, be considered hers. Shameless. I shook with rage. She framed me, and now she wanted to bleed me and my parents dry. Just then, Mom rushed in with her phone, face pale. Caleb, look, the internet. That Chloe. She's on the news. I grabbed the phone. There was Chloe, tear-streaked face on a viral video, crying to a reporter about being a naive victim of a brutal fiancé. The report painted me as a drunken beast. The comment section was filth. Animal. Lock him up. Poor girl. Looks decent, but is a monster. Darkness swam before my eyes. She wanted to destroy me completely. The next day, the factory called. My manager. Caleb, everyone knows. It's bad for the company image. HR decided. Just don't come in. Wait for notice. Wait for notice. I sneered. Fired. I tried to go out. Neighbors looked right through me like I was a ghost, or avoided me like the plague. Disgust and fear in their eyes. My friend stopped answering texts. My childhood buddy Mike was the only one who didn't block me, but even he was silent. Even distant relatives called my dad, hinting, this is getting big. Maybe. Settle with the girl? Pay her off? Better than prison. Admit it, pay up. The words haunted me. Everyone thought I deserved it. No one believed me. Isolation drowned me. I locked myself in my room, not eating. Suicide crossed my mind. But I couldn't. What about my parents? They were fighting for me. Mom crying in the kitchen. Dad smoking chain cigarettes on the porch. I couldn't fall first. I looked in the mirror at the hollow man. That wasn't me. I was Caleb Miller. I didn't do it. I wouldn't let that snake win. Hatred fueled me. Chloe, you wait. You owe me. You owe my parents. I will make you pay it all back. You want me in jail? I'll put you there first. I picked up the court summons. The court date was a death timer. I needed evidence. I had to wash this stain away. My parents watched me, eyes spilling with worry. Mom's hair was so white now. She handed me water, shaking. Dad sat in the smoke-filled living room, gloomy. Seeing them destroyed like this, my heart bled. I had to stand up. It was Chloe who did this. I sat up straight, a desperate ruthlessness in my eyes. I began to frantically recall every detail of dating Chloe. Things I ignored. Before the engagement, she asked about my savings, my ATM PIN. I thought it was trust. Now I saw the calculation. She claimed her parents were sick to avoid me visiting, yet acted like a saint to mine. Was her nursing job even real? And the jewelry, her joy when she put it on, was that greed? She lured me step by step. The role play, the recording, it was the checkmate. I won't be destroyed. I screamed internally. I need help. I thought of Mike Ross. He knew about the engagement. He was blunt, loyal. I dialed his number with shaking hands. Hello, Caleb. Mike sounded surprised. Mike, it's me. My voice cracked. Can you talk? Silence, then Mike's deep voice. Yeah, talk. What the hell is happening? I don't buy the news. I almost cried. Someone believed me. I took a breath and told him everything. The role play, the setup, the money theory. Mike listened, swearing occasionally. Damn, that Chloe is toxic. I knew she looked at you weird. You were just love blind. It's too late for that, I said bitterly. I don't know what to do. The cops don't believe me. Don't give up, Mike said firmly. Caleb, listen. If she framed you, there are cracks. The recording is edited. What about cameras? The hotel? The lounge? Did she talk to anyone else? We need to dig. I'll help you, brother. I didn't get married because I'm scared of psychos like this. Mike's words lit a fire in me. Yes. Fight back. I hung up, feeling strength return. I needed a real lawyer. Henderson was too soft. I needed a shark. I searched for the best criminal defense attorney in the city. I found a name. Marcus Stone, known for tough cases. This was step one. I sat in Marcus Stone's office. It was small but immaculate. Stone was 40-something, sharp suit, eyes like a hawk. No small talk. Mr. Miller, Mike briefed me. Bail doesn't mean you're safe. You're far from cleared. His voice was professional and cold, unlike Henderson's wishy-washy tone. Mr. Stone, I was framed. The recording is cut. Chloe. Stone held up a hand. I know. We don't need to rehash your feelings. We need evidence. Solid stuff to put before a judge. He drew on a notepad. First, the recording. I've sent it to a forensic audio lab. It takes time. Even if it's edited, it just creates doubt. It doesn't prove innocence. We need more. Second, surveillance. He circled a spot. The hotel. The lounge. We need footage of her demeanor. Was she distressed or acting? Third, Chloe's background. Another circle. Character, history, debts. A person who plans this doesn't do it without a reason. Why? Money. He looked at me piercingly. Caleb, write down everything. Every odd detail from the moment you met. His words cleared the fog. I felt pressure, but also direction. For the next few days, I was a machine. I went to the hotel. The manager brushed me off. Overwritten. Police have it. I bribed him to see the hallway feed. Blurry. Only showed us entering. The exit footage was conveniently missing. The lounge owner avoided me like the plague. Dead ends. Investigating Chloe was hard. Her friends ghosted. The hospital said she resigned. We can't share personal info. Stone called. Audio analysis confirms edits. But as I said, it's circumstantial. However, I found something on her finances. She has a large, unexplained deposit from right before she met you, and significant online loan debt. Does the timeline match? Money. Suspicion grew. Just for the $5,000 ring? No, there had to be more. Days passed. Money bled out for fees. Parents couldn't sleep. I took odd jobs, construction, dishwashing, hiding my face so I wouldn't be recognized. Exhausted physically and mentally. Then, bad news from Stone. Chloe's lawyer refused settlement. They want a trial now. And they submitted new evidence. Photos of bruises and a medical report of minor injuries. My head spun. Bruises? I never hit her. She's doubling down, Stone said. She's trying to nail the coffin shut. How much time do we have? I asked, desperate. Not much. Trial date is coming. Outside, the night was pitch black. I felt trapped. Don't panic, Stone said, voice sharp. The more she fakes, the more mistakes she makes. I'll verify the medical report. You keep remembering. I hung up and chain smoked. Recall. Her smile, her words. Suddenly, a detail flashed. Chloe mentioned an old social media account she stopped using. I rushed to my computer, tried usernames. Finally, a dormant account popped up. An avatar of a younger Chloe. Private. I called Mike. Get a tech guy. Days later, Mike sent screenshots. Deleted posts recovered. So annoyed. Being broke sucks. When can I live the high life? Tired of the dorm. I heard some girls use men to skip the line. Envious. Anyone know a way to make quick cash? The timeline matched her debts, but it wasn't enough proof of a frame-up. I kept digging. She once mentioned a roommate. Mike and I tracked down the old apartment. A girl opened the door. Chloe? Yeah, she lived here briefly. Quiet, secretive. Moved out fast. Said she found a rich boyfriend. Did she say anything weird? I asked. The girl thought. Oh, once she joked, working is hard. Marrying well is better. Hook a guy with a house and save 10 years of struggle. Hook a guy. It hit me like a brick. I was the prey. I told Stone immediately. Stone sounded excited. Good. This establishes motive. I have news too. I analyzed the audio background. Under her crying, if you amp the gain, there's a faint sound, like a giggle, and a whisper guiding you. It contradicts her claim of terror. A giggle? My brain exploded. She was laughing while she destroyed me. The pieces were coming together. Chloe Evans, desperate for money, believing in hooking a man to get rich. She targeted me. Honest, stable assets. She scammed the engagement, got the jewelry, then executed the rape, plot to sue for damages, and walk away with the cash, using the law as her weapon. Vicious. Stone and I saw hope. Mr. Stone, the deposit. The loans. We traced those. Exactly, Stone said. I'm on it. And the injury report. I'm checking the doctor. A glimmer of light. But the reality was a slow grind. Nearly 2 years passed. 2 years of legal tug-of-war. Delays, motions. I hardened. I wasn't the scared kid anymore. I was a hunter waiting. My parents aged rapidly, but stood by me. Stone didn't give up. One hot afternoon, Mike called. Caleb, we found a guy. An ex-boyfriend she scammed. My heart hammered. Who? Mike had found a man named Jason. He had dated Chloe years ago. We met him. He looked worn out. At first, he refused to talk. Bad luck. Don't want to revisit it. Jason, I stared at him. She sued me for rape. If I lose, my life is over. Please. He smoked, then sighed. That woman is poison. I borrowed money for her, about $5,000. Well, I couldn't give more. She flipped. Said I was harassing her. Threatened to call the cops and claim assault. I was scared. I paid her a breakup fee to go away. The same pattern. Extortion using fear of the law. But Jason had settled. He never went to court. His testimony helped, but wasn't a smoking gun. I needed a kill shot. Stone called. His voice was cold and angry. Caleb, brace yourself. We data mined her digital footprint deeper. We found forum posts on a legal advice site from 6 months before she met you. My stomach dropped. She asked, if rape is attempted, how much are civil damages? How make a charge stick? How to create favorable evidence? Boom. My blood froze. She was researching this before she even knew my name. I was just a carcass she found. And Stone added, that mysterious deposit? It came from a company registered as Heart-to-Heart Relationship Consulting. I suspect it's a scam ring coaching women on how to do this. A scam ring? Professional gold diggers? It made sense. Her precision, the recording, the script. Mr. Stone, I was shaking. Can we sue? Yes, Stone said firmly. The chain is complete. I'm filing with the DA to dismiss your charges, and we are filing a countersuit. False imprisonment, defamation, fraud. Countersuit. 2 years of living like a rat. Now it was my turn. I hung up and opened the window. The city lights looked like fire. The magma of rage in my chest finally erupted. Stone moved fast. He dumped Jason's affidavit, the forum screenshots, the financial trails, and the audio analysis onto the DA's desk. I imagined the prosecutors' faces as the perfect victim narrative crumbled. Stone told me the DA ordered a supplementary investigation. They subpoenaed Chloe, Stone said, voice tight. She panicked. When they showed her the forum posts about creating evidence, she lost it. Contradicted herself about Jason and the consulting firm. The wait for the decision was agonizing. Then the call came. Caleb. Stone sounded relieved. It's over. The DA issued a no bill. They are declining to prosecute due to insufficient evidence and suspicion of fraud. No bid. Dropped. The shackles of 2 years shattered. I collapsed, sobbing. Mom and Dad ran in, weeping with me. This was my innocence. But it wasn't enough. I wanted blood. I gathered everything. The DA's letter, the evidence, and walked into the police department with Stone. Officer, I want to report crime. False accusations and fraud. I had posted a video online explaining my side beforehand. It went viral. The internet flipped overnight. Shocking twist. Rape accuser was a scammer. The comments that once cursed me now apologized. Sorry, man. She's evil. Investigate the consulting firm. I felt cold reading them. Public opinion is just a weather vane. At the station, the desk sergeant frowned at my file. Then his eyes widened at the DA's letter. We will investigate this. If she broke the law, we'll get her. The case opened fast. Public pressure helped. Stone updated me. They check her bank. Large, unexplained transfers during your relationship. Some went to that consulting firm. Police think it's a mentorship ring for fraud. They found the jewelry record, too. Mike called ecstatic. She sold the ring 3 days after you gave it to her. At a pawn shop. Cashed out immediately. She never wanted to marry me. The tech unit recovered deleted chats. She was talking to a mentor. How do I get him drunk? How do I edit the tape? Can I get state compensation if he goes to jail? State compensation. She wanted to rob the taxpayers, too. Who is the mentor? I ground my teeth. Police are tracking them. It's a syndicate. The net closed. Chloe was arrested at a coffee shop, scouting a new target. When the cops showed the chat logs, she collapsed. She was charged with perjury, filing a false report, and fraud. Hearing she was in cuffs, I exhaled a breath I'd held for 2 years. But the real battle was the courtroom. Chloe's arrest made waves. But I was focused on the trial. I sued as the victim. The court day was gray. I shaved, wore a suit. Mom and Dad came. Inside, the air was heavy. Chloe sat in the defendant's chair, wearing an orange jumpsuit. Messy hair, no makeup. She looked at me with venom, then fear. I stood up. Your Honor. 2 years and 3 months. From a groom to a rapist. I lost everything. I told my story calmly. The job sites, the shame, the parents' tears. Stone took the floor. He was a gladiator. We present evidence of a calculated trap. Jason's testimony, the forum posts, the financial records, the audio analysis. She giggled while she claimed she was being assaulted. Every piece of evidence was a hammer blow. Chloe turned pale. When she took the stand, she tried to lie. I was scared. He forced me. Scared. Stone pressed. Why did you research creating evidence 6 months prior? Why did you sell the ring in 3 days? What is your relationship with the fraud ring? I don't know them, she shrieked. But her eyes betrayed her. The courtroom watched her crumble. She sobbed, but no one pitied her. The judge called for a recess. Stone patted my shoulder. It's done, Caleb. I looked at my parents. They smiled through tears. The sunlight hit me. Warm. Behind me, Chloe wailed. I walked out. Mike was waiting. How'd it go? It's over, I said, voice trembling. DA dropped my charges. The countersuit is a lock. Mike hugged me. You made it, bro. The wait for the sentence was the final stretch. I worked out, read, try to be normal. Finally, the day came. I walked into court. Chloe was a ghost of herself. The judge read the verdict. Defendant Chloe Evans. For the crime of fraud, obtaining property by deception. Guilty. For the crime of perjury and false accusation. Guilty. Sentenced to 5 years for fraud. 3 years for perjury. Combined sentence. 7 years in state prison. Ordered to pay restitution of $5,000 to Caleb Miller for the jewelry, plus legal fees. 7 years. The number rang in my head. Chloe slumped, boneless. The gavel banged. I held the verdict paper. It was light, but carried the weight of my life. Outside, the sun was bright. No joy, just exhaustion. Mike and Stone were there. 7 years. Justice. Mike yelled. The news broke. Justice served. False accuser gets 7 years. The internet cheered. Inyai. Hero fights back. I read the comments without feeling. I watched Chloe get loaded into the van. I didn't hate her anymore. She was just a pathetic tool of her own greed. 7 years was the price. I crumpled the paper in my hand and looked at the sky. I had to stand up. I had to find my life again. Story complete.